Hello everyone, welcome to today's episode of Here for a Reason podcast, where we dive into the rich stories of Africans in the diaspora. First off, I would like to really say thank you to everyone who took our time to join our Insta Live on Friday. It was such an amazing time with you and such an amazing time with our guests, talking about friendship, family, and faith in the diaspora. And today, as I promised in the last episode, that we're going to be having a guest, which is our first guest for the year 2025. Ooh, guys, today is all about we said it before in the last episode, we are getting serious this year. We are getting our life together, and most importantly, we are getting our money together. So today, join me as I welcome the baddest, is a friend of many. In person, I don't know why he's smiling already. In person of Mr. Oluwole Oyeleke. So how are you doing today?
Very well. Thanks
so good to have you here. Thank you so much for honoring our invite.
It's a pleasure.
First off, can you please introduce yourself to the audience? How you got here? What has the journey been like? How you even started? How you found yourself here in Canada in the first place?
Good question.
Yeah.
Once again, thanks for having me. You said my name already. I came to Canada in 2021. I was a student. I have a master's in business administration from Thompson Rivers University.
Oh, cool.
And right after I graduated, I was working full-time, but simultaneously, I also started pushing to get my license to be able to provide financial advice or to be able to have that title of being a financial professional.
Amazing. So how has it been like being in financial fields for quite a time now?
Interesting thing is, back in Nigeria, I've always been in the financial space.
Oh, okay. Did you work with financial companies back home?
Oh, yes. True. From 2014 up until I left, I worked with various financial institutions. Coming to Canada, honestly, it was like I had to press the reset button.
Yeah.
Because it was...
for everybody, basically, you teleporting yourself down here, so you mean you have to start all over again. And transitioning into finance back home and finance back here in Canada, what can you say is the difference between both world?
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. I'll give you a broad overview.
Okay.
The North American financial space is dependent on debt. Back in Nigeria, it's a cash and carry
what you
economy.
earn is what you
Correct.
spend. Yeah.
You don't have access to credit.
Yes.
We don't care about credit scores.
Yes.
Right? But in this part of the world, it's totally different.
Yes.
So you need to understand how the credit works.
Absolutely.
In fact, it feels like you're rewarded for borrowing.
No, makes sense.
And that's why you have a credit score, because they're assessing your credit history to determine how trustworthy are you when you're giving a loan or if you want to borrow.
Okay.
Things like that.
Yeah.
The terms we use back in Nigeria, you hear things like your savings account and your current account.
Yes.
Over here, we're talking about checking accounts and savings accounts.
Your credit card account.
And your credit card account.
Absolutely.
Now, if you think that your savings account in Nigeria is the same as savings account in North America, you've lost. So it's totally different. It means different things, even though they might have the same name, but it's a totally different system.
Okay. I think you already touched on like the first point we're supposed to talk about, which is like the credit card. So can you explain how to build your credit score? What are the things to avoid? Because honestly, personally, from experience, I realized that if you're not careful, you overspend. And you overspending can cost you a lot. So can you please break it down in a simple term for a beginner or like a person that just landed into this country for the first day? How do you think they should go about their credit card and their credit score thing? How to build
Fantastic. Remember I said the economy is built around debt, borrowing, right? So if you're new, it's okay to have a credit card.
Yeah.
That I will tell you for a fact.
Yes.
It's okay to use that credit card. What is not okay is not having the money in your checking account and then you're spending on your credit card. If you have the money in your checking account, make the expenditure on your credit card and then pay it back. So your question was, how do you manage your credit card and your credit score?
Yes.
Again, use it, but ensure you don't use more than 30% at every given time before you pay it back. What that means, if you have a credit limit of $1,000 on that card, endeavor not to go beyond $300. Pay it back and use it.
Guys, this is a gem right here. Like, this is an eye-opener. As for me, I've maxed out my credit. Okay.
You're not alone.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why that is important, again, is there's something called your utilization ratio. Because these little things impact on that score. Remember, it's a loan. When you use your credit card, you're borrowing their money, right?
Yes.
Now, over time, there is a system, I don't know how that works, but the credit unions all have that system to monitor you and say, how have you been using this credit we gave to you? So if you use more than 30%, it impacts your dependency on your score when it comes to dependency on credit.
Absolutely.
And that's why you're strongly encouraged not to go beyond 30%. Now, there's nothing wrong if you go above it, but make sure you pay back before the due date or the statement date. The due date is most important. But most importantly, it's money you have in your checking that you should be spending on your credit.
Oh, I feel relieved. This is so liberating, guys. Okay. I'm really glad, because this is really an eye-opener for me, because I realized that, recently I wanted to change my phone and I went to, Best Buy to see what I can, whip out from my credit card. And, they run a credit check on me, and guess what? You already know the answer.
You're not alone.
So nice. This is something you really, really want to pay attention to. And now, moving to the next one is, what are the financial mistakes that we need to avoid as Africans in diaspora? Because truth be told, we know that citizens, they know these things, they are brought up with these things, so they know what not to do and to do. But we Africans that were just coming in, they gave us this credit card, we don't even understand how to go about it, what to spend. So what are the financial key mistakes that we should try to avoid?
A lot. Number one, leave what you know in Nigeria when it comes to finance. And learn what is obtainable in this part of the world.
Absolutely.
You see, I've seen a couple of times immigrants coming because they go to a bank, open the basic two account, the checking and the savings. They ask them, do you want a credit card? They say no. The number one mistake is, don't say no, collect that credit card. Okay. Now, when you collect it, don't throw it under your bed, don't keep it in your wallet and say, no, you don't want to borrow. It's okay to use it if you use the principle I mentioned earlier. Only you spend what you have in your checking on your credit card and pay back almost immediately or few days after, right?
Yes.
Number two is, when we come into this country and we say, oh, we understand these things, the truth, well, no disrespect to nobody, they truly might know these things, but hey, it might be different. And that is where having the insight of an advisor would really help you.
Yes.
Just so you can understand it and compare. Good enough. That information is sitting right there on the website before they said sign here, sign here, sign here.
Yeah, right?
But how many people read that?
Really take time to read it.
Yes,
that's
read
part of it.
Right? Some might sound like, they might seem like something you can't understand. Someone who's been around can break it down in layman terms, especially when the person have walked the same journey you're walking.
Absolutely.
So that can really help.
Yes.
Another thing to pay attention to is not getting carried away with having access to credits.
Okay.
You have a credit card with $2,500. Now, what some people would do is they convert that money to Naira instantly and say, wow, that's a lot of money. And they're like, whoa, and off they go. They go making all the expenses, expenditure, shopping without having it on their credit. Now, because you have borrowed, if you do not pay back, you can't run away from it. It's
can't.
there. Before you open that credit card, they ask for your SIN.
Yes.
It's sitting right there.
Yes.
And people do more damage to their credits before they even realize.
Wow.
So again, borrowing is good if done the right way. The economy is built around credit. So being smart makes all the difference. Use that credit, have access to it, but make sure you're paying back when due. And your utilization ratio is something you should pay close attention to.
Wow. Honestly, I'm learning a lot. I don't know about you guys, but the knowledge I am absorbing from Mr. Oluwole today would last me for a lifetime. So speaking about, our topic today is all about smart money tips.
Yeah.
How to make smart money choices and things to put your money into. So that leads me to asking that, what are some financial investments that you think, in your own opinion, it is wise for Africans to put their money into, for those that have in excess, in surplus? I understand that people that are just coming in as trying to find their food into the country, bills and all that. But for some people that are already here, that has the money, but don't know, what can I do with my money? How best can I save this money, invest? What do I do with this? And what are some financial investments you think will be profitable in the long run? Okay,
this is the part where I then give a disclaimer that whatever I'm saying is for educational purposes and not considered to be a professional advice.
Okay, thank you.
And then you need to speak to your financial advisor to give you those advice.
Absolutely.
I'm licensed in 5 provinces to provide this information. That's why this disclaimer is very important.
Okay, amazing.
There are some accounts, now I use the word account, that the government has allowed us to have where, one, you won't be taxed.
Okay, by we, you mean Africans?
All Canadians, anybody who is working, all Canadians, both if you live here as a permanent resident, citizen, or a temporary resident.
Okay.
As long as you have a bank account, the government allows you to open accounts like a tax-free savings account. What it simply means is, if you TFSA.
Absolutely. Okay.
What it means is, if you have $1,000 sitting down in your checking account, you're doing something wrong. Because after 30 days or 365 days, if you get $1 on that money you kept in your checking account, the government is going to tax that $1 interest or capital gain.
Oh, wow.
So the first thing you should do is avoid paying that tax on that $1.
Yes.
And that's why they've created a tax-free savings account, TFSA. It costs you nothing to have it.
Makes sense. Okay.
It saves you the costs of taxes.
To pay tax.
Yes. Now let's talk a little about taxes.
Okay.
As an immigrant, if you understand that taxes is an expense to you, you will be smart. Now, you have to pay taxes. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
We have to pay taxes.
You can't even hide from it.
You can't run away from it.
You can't, yes.
But when the government also says, we're going to give you a break, being smart, being financially smart means that you're going to take advantage of those opportunities. So your tax-free savings account is right there. Your first home savings account is another one, which is the FHSA, First Home Savings Account. And your registered retirement savings plan. You see those 3 accounts, they are in some ways, if utilized properly, can provide some haven from taxes. So as an immigrant, you can only do yourself good by understanding how these 3 accounts work. Because while they are similar, they will all protect you from taxes. They have some differences. So it's your responsibility to understand that and ask the right person the right questions.
Absolutely. Guys, I hope you're jotting. I hope you're really picking 1 or 2 lessons, because as I am like this, I am soaked in wisdom. As I'm going home, I am going to open FSHA or
FHSA.
As I said. So yes. So moving to the next one. So what should be our priority as regarding financial security?
That's a very contentious one. And again, it's about living what we've known before and unlearning what we've known and learning what we should, or what will give us the best outcome. Financial security means you are a lot of people think it's about just investing.
Yes.
Investing is good, but it has its own place.
Yes.
You can't be in debt and be investing. There's no wisdom in that.
Absolutely not. Yes.
And let's break it down a little.
Yeah.
Let's assume you borrow $1,000. Now, if you borrow $1,000, say from your credit card, depending on the bank or the institution, you might be paying a monthly interest of about 24% or thereabout.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, if you have $1,000 and you say, no, I want to invest, you take that 1,000, you're owing, remember, you now take that $1,000 and you put it in an instrument, say you buy mutual funds or you buy segregated funds or GIC with a bank. The bank will give you between 3 to 5%. Now, think about it. You're in debt, owing 1,000, and every month you're servicing that loan with 24%,
interest.
But your money is growing by what?
2%.
2%. So investing is important, but not when you're in debt.
Absolutely.
So financial security means that, one, get out of debt.
Absolutely.
Then you can talk about building your emergency funds. In this country, you need it. Why is that important? You go to work, sometimes they say, sorry, we don't need your services again. And guess what? The employer is entitled to actually do that.
Yeah.
And they pay you 2 weeks severance, eh? Your bills will not stop for that month.
No, it won't.
Some people might argue and say, oh, there's employment insurance. Abi? No problem. Go and check the details of employment insurance. In North America, you're advised to have your emergency funds. And what's that? We want you to have at least 3 to 6 months of your monthly income saved up. It's not your investment though.
Okay.
Saved up.
Saved up.
So that if you need any fund, you need to quickly travel to Nigeria, you need to quickly do something. You're not going into your investment, but you're going to your emergency fund. Or you get to work and they say, we are sorry, we don't need your services again. You know you are protected for 3 to 6 months. You can pay your bills, no panic, no stress.
Wow. Emergency funds.
Emergency funds. The last one, which happens to be the most important, should be the first one, is actually having some form of insurance.
Okay. Yeah.
If you realize that you can wake up and your whole life can change, and it could affect your family or your opportunity to earn an income or your family, you consider life insurance.
Yes.
There are different types. Just speak to a good financial advisor to advise you on the unique features of each of them. But not having one is not just unsmart, it's actually financial foolishness.
Mr. Oluwole, I am really happy we're having this conversation, and thank you so much for the knowledge that you have bestowed upon this house today. And I believe that as the audience, you've picked 1 or 2 things that would help you, whether it's the insurance, emergency fund, how to save, how to spend wisely, that would help you build a good financial background and portfolios. For final, to wrap up, what advice would you give for a newcomer? I can count myself as a newcomer because I'm still new. So what advice would you give me, say that right now I'm in between probably debts, or I've over maxed out my credit card, or I'm still getting my feet, or for some people that just got a credit card? What advice can you give us generally to look out for, to do or not do, just to say, okay, this is what you need to do and not do to keep you safe on the edge?
The first thing to do is to identify a trustworthy person you can ask the right questions. Please note, this information are all on the internet also. But you might read them and not understand it, or you might not get it.
Someone to explain.
Yes. So speaking to one would open your eyes to a lot of things. There are onboarding packages with a lot of financial institutions, especially for immigrants. Speak to the right person and they will direct you in the right direction. Secondly, in this country, borrowing is good. It only depends on what you use the money for. Your credit card is an asset. It can help you build your credit score so that in months or years when you want to buy that house or when you want to make a purchase, you are protected. You will get a lower rates because of a good credit score.
Yes.
So borrowing is good.
Yes.
Don't shy away from it. But then again, you must service that debt. Don't spend money you don't have in your checking on your credit card, right?
Yeah.
And finally, always ask the big questions. If I go to work and my employment is terminated, what happens to me? What happens to my family? What happens to my ability to pay the bill? What about disabilities? What about death, the ultimate one, right? Ask your financial advisor can show you strategies in whatever province you are. As long as you're licensed in that province, they can give you the right information that you need.
Thank you so much, Mr. Oluwole. Please repeat this video, play it over and over and over and over again, because I intend to do that. Thank you so much, Mr. Oluwole, for coming on Here for a Reason podcast. We really appreciate you and for the wealth of wisdom that you have given us today. Let me say that Mr. Oluwole is a financial advisor. So should in case you need further guidance, questions, teaching, tutoring, whatever thing you need, please be sure to contact him. We'll be sure to put his details there and how you can reach him, or you can even chat any of us directly to get his contact. He's more than welcome to walk you through your financial issues right here in Canada or in Kamloops. Thank you so much, like I said, Mr. Oluwole. Thank you for the smart money tips that we have received today. And guys, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment if you enjoyed this video and everything Mr. Oluwole has said and taught us today. Please let us know in the comment section if you have further questions. In fact, it will be more than happy to answer in the comment section. Thank you so much, and until next time, it's Tata.
Bye.